been talking to someone for days, weeks, or even months. Everything seems fine. Then suddenly, they disappear. Your messages are delivered but never replied to. No explanation, no goodbye, nothing. So, why do people do this? The truth is, not everyone is good at difficult conversations. For some people, saying I'm no longer interested feels awkward. So they choose to disappear instead. They think silence is easier than explaining themselves. Sometimes, people ghost because they've already made up their minds and they don't want to deal with the other person's reaction. Others simply lose interest and move on without thinking about how the other person might feel. Social media has made ghosting much easier. These days, someone can unfollow you, block you, or stop replying with just one tap. It's quick, but it can leave the other person with so many unanswered questions. The problem is that ghosting doesn't just end the conversation. It leaves confusion behind. Instead of getting closure, people are left wondering, did I do something wrong? Was it something I said? At the end of the day, communication may be uncomfortable, but it shows maturity and respect. A simple, honest conversation can be much kinder than disappearing without a word.
What does it really mean to be independent? For most of us, independence lives in the little things we rarely stop to notice. Driving to the store, paying bills, cooking a favorite meal, taking medication on time, or finding our way home. These everyday tasks feel so natural that we often take them for granted. Now, imagine waking up one day and struggling with those same tasks, not because you are tired or distracted, but because your brain can no longer process information the way it once did. This is the reality of dementia. Many people think dementia is simply about memory loss. However, dementia goes far beyond forgetting names or misplacing keys. It refers to a group of conditions that damage the brain and affect memory, thinking, language, judgment, and decision making. As these abilities decline every day, activities become more challenging. The change rarely happens all at once. They often begin with small moments that are easy to overlook. A familiar recipe no longer makes sense. Paying bills become a struggle. Conversations repeat because the same question is asked several times. Even a simple trip to a nearby store becomes frightening when a once familiar route suddenly feels unfamiliar. According to the World Health Organization, more than 57 million people worldwide live with dementia, and nearly 10 million new cases emerge each year. Although most forms of dementia currently have no cure, early diagnosis helps people manage symptoms, prepare for the future, and preserve their independence for as long as possible. Remember, dementia does not only take away memories, it gradually takes away the ability to live independently. And this is why understanding, patience, and compassion matter just as much as medical care.
Hello, my name is John Costa, founder of the Conflict Memory Education Centre, an independent museum based in Leicester, UK. My vision was to have 10 documentary archives that focus on recent wars and periods of political violence. The aim is educational, offering material that helps people understand the lived experience of those affected by conflict and how those experiences relate to wider historical and political developments. Conflict Memory Education Centre is an independent registered museum and is designed to support formal and informal education. The material will be made available for use in workshops, academic courses and exhibitions. The use of documentary media, film, photography, audio recordings and new media will help to open up conversations about complex histories and their ongoing relevance. In this short explainer video, I'd like to show you the archive on Iraq, Auda. The Auda archive, Arabic for return, will cover the invasion of Iraq in 2003 and the events that followed. It will include interviews with individuals who experienced displacement, alongside documentary content focusing on the reconstruction of towns and communities. Photographs and film work in this archive will aim to explore themes of loss, recovery, and the data.
Hello and welcome to S24 Rundown, bringing you headlines making round in Nigeria and around the world. Stay tuned for our news in brief after the break. Thanks for staying with us. Let's begin. President Bola Tinubu says the federal government refused to negotiate with or pay ransom to kidnappers who abducted pupils and teachers in Orire, Oyo State, insisting the victims were rescued through an intelligence-led military operation after 56 days in captivity. Speaking while receiving Oyo traditional rulers in Abuja, the president said the kidnappers demanded money and the release of detained gang members, but the government rejected their conditions. Tinubu said the operation informed his decision to expand the Nigerian army from 8 to 12 divisions to improve response time against terrorism and banditry. He also announced plans to strengthen forest guards, support the creation of state police with safeguards against abuse, and urged communities to provide timely intelligence to security agencies. Northern senators have condemned the recent killings in Benue and Kaduna states, describing the attacks as tragic and calling for stronger security measures to curb violence. In a statement, chairman of the Northern Senators Forum, Senator Abdulaziz Musa Yar'Adua, expressed condolences to the affected communities and backed the federal government's decision to expand the Nigerian army from 8 to 12 divisions and recruit 28,000 additional personnel. The lawmakers said the move would strengthen security operations and improve response to emerging threats. They also called for adequate funding, better welfare for troops, improved intelligence gathering, and urged communities to support security agencies with timely information. The forum further demanded the arrest and prosecution of those responsible for the attacks and increased support for victims and displaced persons. Now, the federal government has destroyed 2,819 illicit and decommissioned small arms in Abuja, bringing the total number of illegal weapons destroyed nationwide to about 19,000. The Director General of the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons, Johnson Kokomo, said the exercise is aimed at preventing recovered weapons from returning to criminal circulation. The government warned arms traffickers that all illegal weapons would eventually be traced and destroyed, reaffirming its commitment to tackling terrorism, banditry, and other violent crimes. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has deployed over 1,000 young professionals into its workforce after completing a one-year internship, intensive training, and evaluation program. NNPC Group Chief Executive Officer Bayo Ojulari said the recruitment was based on merit, stressing that performance, not connections, determined permanent employment. He urged the new employees to contribute innovative ideas, take responsibility for their growth, and uphold the company's values of hard work and fairness. The deployment is part of NNPC's ongoing efforts to strengthen its workforce following its transition into a commercially driven national energy company under the Petroleum Industry Act. Now turning to global matters, the United States Africa Command says illegal drug trafficking across Africa has increased more than sixfold in the past 2 years, raising fresh concerns over transnational crime. Speaking at the Africa Logistics and Communications Symposium in Ethiopia, AFRICOM Logistics Director, Brigadier General Paul Filek, called for stronger cooperation, intelligence sharing, and improved logistics among African countries to tackle drug trafficking, human trafficking, and other security threats. He also said emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence and drones could help strengthen defense operations across the continent. Still on the foreign scene, at least 34 miners have been killed following a methane gas explosion at a coal mine in Pakistan's southwestern Balochistan province. According to the Provincial Disaster Management Authority, the explosion occurred on Thursday near the provincial capital, Quetta, trapping dozens of workers underground. Rescue teams worked through the night to recover the bodies, while efforts continue to locate any remaining miners. Authorities say the blast was caused by a buildup of methane gas, a common hazard in underground coal mining. The exact number of miners in the shaft at the time of the explosion has not been confirmed. Now moving on to business news with Hadiza Galadima. Hello, Hadiza.
Welcome to Business Updates for today, Friday, 31st July 2026. And here are the headlines. FG says fuel subsidy savings has been absorbed by rising debt costs. Also, today marks the deadline for insurance firms to meet NICOM's recapitalization requirements. Also, NNPC is set to acquire Seplat's 10% joint venture stake for $281.6 million. And on the international scene, Meta has posted strong quarterly earnings driven by AI and advertising growth. Let's get into the details. The federal government says the savings from the removal of fuel subsidies and the unification of the foreign exchange market have largely been absorbed by rising debt servicing costs and increased government spending. According to the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, the reforms have improved government revenue and strengthened public finances. However, he says much of those gains have gone into servicing existing debt and funding key government priorities. Despite the challenges, the government says it maintains or remains committed to reforms aimed at stabilizing the economy and attracting more investment. Moving on, today is the deadline for insurance companies to comply with the National Insurance Commission's recapitalization requirements. The exercise is expected to strengthen the financial capacity of insurance firms, improve their ability to settle claims, and boost confidence in the industry. Attention is now on NICOM as stakeholders await the regulator's verdict on companies that have met the requirements and the next steps for those who have not. Also, in the oil and gas sector, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited is set to acquire Seplat Energy's 10% stake in a joint venture for $281.6 million. The deal is expected to increase NNPC's ownership in the venture and support efforts to boost crude oil production while strengthening Nigeria's upstream oil and gas industry. And finally, tech giant Meta has reported stronger than expected quarterly earnings, thanks to continued growth in artificial intelligence and digital advertising. The company says its AI-powered tools are helping businesses run more effective adverts and improve customer engagement. Contributing to another strong financial performance, Meta also says it will continue investing in AI as competition in the sector continues to grow. That's it on your business update. Up next is our newspaper review segment after the break. Do stay with us and have a wonderful and productive weekend ahead.
Thank you, Hadiza, and welcome back from that break. We'll be moving straight to our next segment, which is the newspaper review with Abubakar Turaki. Hello, Abubakar.
Hello, Gloria.
Happy Friday to you.
Thank you so much.
It's another day to dissect national issues.
Thank you so much for the invitation.
You're welcome. So let's quickly begin with the business of today, and we'll be looking at our first newspaper, the Daily Trust. And on the front page, it says, "Stop building flyover. Tinubu tells governors." Now, this is an interesting thing it's something we've been seeing in recent times. I would just like to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, thank you so much once again. Looking at the cosmopolitan of our dear country, Nigeria, you know, Nigeria is a federal state. We are practicing federalism. Federalism is a situation where power is being shared between the federal government, that is the federal government, the state government, and also the local government.
Yes.
And remember, this is the duty of the president as the #1 citizen to suggest or even call the governors that they should try and do this thing. But the president does not have any right to give them order. And based on what he said to them, I believe maybe they will listen to them and address certain issues. And I am so happy that the president did that, because it has become obvious that ever since Tinubu came into power, President Tinubu, that was 29 May 2023, when he made that blind statement that subsidy has gone, he have been injecting money to the state governors. You know, there is what we call revenue allocation and revenue sharing formula.
Yeah.
The formula is the federal government have the mandate to go with, you know, we have concurrent list, residual list, and exclusive list. On the process of aviation security, these are the responsibility of the federal government to take good care of it. On the process of road construction, taking good care of certain things in the state, this is the residual list, if I may remember. Then we have the other one, that is the residual list, if I could remember. That is the duty of the local government to build culvert, primary healthcare, and the rest. But we stand to be corrected as Nigerians. The Secretary have been saying that he have been injecting money and more funds to state governors, but we are not seeing the impact on the people. And remember, these are the state government that they are having their own allocation from the federal government, and they also have what they call internally generated revenue within their own state. But they seems to forget that what they are doing, they only tilted their own focus and understanding and perception on building infrastructural development, forgetting the fact that some state does not want infrastructural development, rather they are in need of human capital development. So when I say human capital development here, I mean schools, hospital, etc.
Now, you've made a very important point, but let's not also forget that these are important amenities. But how then can we now strike a balance? Because beyond the president coming out to give an advice, how can he actually strike a balance to ensure that the state governments are investing or prioritizing right investments?
Thank you so much for asking me this question. I think we need to remember there is clear separation of power between the three arms of government: the executive arm, the legislative arm, and the judicial arm. But what we are having, most of the state houses of assembly, they are no longer answerable to their people, rather they are answerable to their own state governors, because it has become obvious that the state houses of assembly is now a department in the government house, because all of them, they are ignorant. Most of them are ignorant because they are not representing their people. What you will see them, they'll just be running, and they'll just be running to the governor and saying, "Your Excellency, Your Excellency, Your Excellency." For what? For what? People voted for you. Go and make laws. Do follow up your own oversight function. These are the kind of things. If any governor, because I can remember there is a governor that brought an annual budget. What he did, he just went to the State House of Assembly, presented the budget, and he just took a bow and left. Within 24 to 48 hours, the budget has been assented by the members of the State House of Assembly. So we need to have competent people that know what they are doing, because according to some political historians, do you know that the legislative arm of government are more powerful than the executive arm of government?
Yes,
because they have the right to impeach the president. They have the right to impeach the governor, and even government at the local level, the councillors have the right to impeach the executive chairman.
All right. So of course, we know about all of this, but you've still not answered my question, which is, okay, so now what metrics should we now use to determine the priorities for each state? Because remember that every state has peculiar challenges.
Yes.
Some it is education, some it is infrastructure. So now, first, does the government even have a right to dictate what a state should do? And how can these states strike this balance to, how can we ensure that each state is prioritizing what it really needs?
You cannot have the voice, the yearning and aspiration of everyone. That is where the beauty of democracy came into birth. You are going to select and elect your representative so that they can go and speak on your behalf by electing credible people that will go back to their own community, listen to the yearning and aspirations of their people, then table the issue to the executive governor.
Yeah.
Since the executive governors are now trying to make themselves a small goat, because they can do and undo. And let me tell you, this is to tell you the level of how these people are feeling that nobody is above them. If you can refer back to the book by Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, Fighting Corruption is Dangerous, toward her end, toward the end of former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, she wrote that book. She had been battling with G7 governors. I think Governor of Edo was among them, Comrade Adams Oshimole, and some governors. They have been on her neck, asking her to give them money at all cost. And after that, you remember when Buhari came into power, Nigeria have witnessed a kind of a devastating economic downfall. That was when they looted the entire excess crude account that we have. The state government are more powerful. I think we need to find a way of at least having and holding them accountable. How can we hold them accountable? By electing State House of Assembly members that are credible, knowledgeable, fearless, and those that have the fear of God in their heart.
Thank you so much for that very important point. Let's just quickly also look at our next paper, and we'll be taking a look at the Leadership newspaper. And on the front page, it says, Nigeria won't negotiate with criminals or pay ransom. And this message is also coming from the president. Consistently, the Nigerian government has said that they do not negotiate with terrorists. But do you actually believe that?
Please permit me to appreciate Mr. President, but there's a disclaimer. I'm not campaigning for him.
Okay.
On your mandate, Nigerian stand, Bola. The president has been doing well these days.
Okay.
No matter what, the president is trying to address the issue of insecurity. You know, he made this statement, I think that was yesterday, Thursday, when the delegation of traditional rulers from the southern part of the country visited him. And I was so happy. I saw the report. I read the report. I looked at the video twice. The president was saying a lot of things, and he said a lot, because for us to address the issue of insecurity and persistent kidnapping that Nigerians have been seeing, we need to find a way of breaking the obstacle that is this perception of paying ransom, because the more you equip them, the more they also become more equipped, and even more equipped than the army personnel.
And they still target you.
They will still target us. But what he said, the president was right, actually. I felt like that statement he made, that they should stop building flyovers and channel that money or funds to the issue of addressing of insecurity. That was then, as an elderly person, he has the right to do that. But the president have to remember, some of us are very, very notorious. And what the government is doing, we know when the government came up with the establishment of state police, security guard, forest guard, and recently we saw what the federal government have done by increasing the division of Nigerian army into 12. These are all measures that the president is putting in place in order to address the problem of insecurity. Sometimes Nigeria, I always like to use this word, we used to have a kind of like selective amnesia, because even the problem of security, or even the problem of culverts, which is actually one of the duty of your own councillor or chairman to address that issue, you seems to push the problem to the president, to the federal government. Why are we doing that? That is one of the major reasons why we are practicing fiscal federalism. But most of the security challenges are local. Then we need to find a local solution to address that. And the president has been saying that he has been giving them money. There's one who call like a political local government independence, because they have gotten only the political independence without getting the financial independence. In the 1980s and even 70s, when Nigeria was Nigeria, a local government chairman can execute a project. A councillor in your ward can execute a project, because I could remember during our own, like when we were very, very young, I could remember, I can remember with my koro eyes, I used to see people fumigating our streets.
Yes.
These are all these things that a councillor can do that, but now they have hijacked everything. And if you ask
They're
me, courtesy
throwing
of
it
what?
to the-
Courtesy of state governors.
So what now is the most effective strategy we need to start looking at as a people to address the issue of insecurity in the country?
You need to be prayerful, oh. At cause, we need to be prayerful.
Yes,
and
but beyond
also I
prayers,
could
we
remember,
have
I
been
think
praying.
Senator Ali Indume made a statement that we need team in order to address the problem of insecurity. What he meant here is training, equipment, ammunition, and motivation. Recently, you saw me the report while Christopher Musa saying that he's going to make sure that Nigerian soldiers are now going to start collecting 150,000. Before they were collecting, is it 49,000 naira?
Yes.
Why is the motivation? While somewhere, some people are out there under a very conducive environment saying that those that are in support of the motions will say aye, those that are not will say nay. The eyes have it, getting a huge amount of money, doing nothing. While there are people that are out there in the bush trying to defend the territorial integrity of Nigeria. They're getting a meager amount of money. What is the motivation? They have to compromise. How many army personnel have been caught compromising with the bandits?
Yes, indeed. You've made a very important point. Thank you so much. But I'm going to put a pause to the conversation right now. But you've made a very salient point, which is, of course, we need teamwork, we need collaboration, and we need to motivate our troops.
Prayer, and leaders,
as
leaders
well,
that are
and
good.
leadership. Thank you for joining us. And that's it on our newspaper review today. Up next is S24 Report, coming to you after the break.
Leaders and young people from across the country are gathered here at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for the National Leaders and Youth Stakeholders Summit, a conference set to bridge the gap between young people and leaders through dialogue and collaboration for the betterment of Nigeria. The conference brought together policymakers, youth advocates, and notable young Nigerians who are making positive impact in their various fields.
Our partnership with youth organizations is especially important because young people constitute the largest segment of Nigeria's population, and they remain the greatest drivers of social transformation. They are not only beneficiaries of human rights, but also defenders, advocates, and ambassadors of democratic values.
Participants emphasized the need for meaningful dialogue, greater youth inclusion in governance, and stronger partnership to drive national development.
More participation from the youth, from the women, from the less privileged, even from those living with disability. Your votes count. I want you to know that your votes count. Everybody's vote counts. It's not just, we don't just sit down and argue with our social media handles. No. We will take the power, we will grab the power, and we will run with it.
Participants emphasized the need to break barriers limiting young people's involvement in politics and decision-making, while calling for more inclusive policies that empowers Nigerian youth to contribute meaningfully to the country's future.
I didn't come here merely to motivate you. Motivation expires, purpose doesn't. I came to remind you that you already possess everything required to change Nigeria. You have competence, you have courage, you have creativity, you have commitment, you have resilience. Most importantly, you have human capital.
The conference also featured an award presentation recognizing outstanding young Nigerians for their contributions to the society.
I hope Nigerian youth will take this as a kind of takeaway for them to impact the tomorrow that we're all dreaming of. I hope this event will be an eye-opener for the youth to see that they can do more and they can give themselves the opportunity to be part of tomorrow's decision-making.
The conference is set to foster stronger partnership between leaders and young people in shaping more inclusive and progressive Nigeria.
My desire is to build beyond political electioneering season campaigns to building a culture of young people who understands what leadership is about and what they are supposed to do as individuals with regards to good governance, rather than shift blames to certain people and certain institutions. Leadership is about everybody. And so that's what this conference is about, raising the consciousness and the awareness of leadership.
For S24 Television, I am Hajara Suleiman.
Good day and welcome to another episode of Political Arena here on S24 Television. My name is Abubakar Traki. In today's digital age, information travels faster than ever. While social media has made it easier for people to express their own opinion and have access to news, it has also created opportunities for the spread of fake news and hate speech. False information can damage reputation, incite violence, influence elections, and undermine national unity. Hate speech, on the other hand, has a political potential. It deepens ethnic and religious coloration, political division, and threatens peace and social cohesion in our country, Nigeria. Nigeria continue to strengthen its democracy. There are increasing needs to understand the legal boundaries of freedom of speech, the consequences of spreading fake information, and the possibility of both citizens and media, how they can cohabit, and what are the legal implications on that. To help us examine this important issue, we are joined by Barrister Zainab Mukhtar Ruma, a legal practitioner who will share her own experience and expert view into the law governing the hate speech, fake news, and the citizen right in our dear country, Nigeria, and what are the possible consequences of violating this law. Barrister Zainab, welcome to Political Arena here on S24 Television.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you, Barrister. Can you please introduce yourself to our audience?
My name is Zainab Mukhtar Ruma. I'm a barrister and solicitor of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. I am from Katsina State, born and raised. That's pretty much it.
Thank you so much, Barrister. So, Barrister, from your own legal expert and from your own legal lens, what is hate speech from the legal perspective?
Well, I would say that hate speech is, creating or publishing any information about a person online that violates the person, threatens the person, discriminates, or tarnish the person's image online or offline.
That is hate speech from your own legal expert. Thank you so much. So, is every false information considered as a fake speech under Nigerian law?
You said?
Is every false statement and information considered as a fake news under Nigerian law?
I wouldn't say, because there isn't a law about fake speech precisely. But then there are laws that protect a person's image. There are statements that you make that might be defamation of the
character.
person's character. So when you do that, it could amount to criminal defamation, which you might be punished. It could be imprisonment. It could also be a fine, and it could be both.
So why have hate speech and fake news become major concern in Nigeria today, looking at the political situation in our country?
I feel it's the social media contributed a lot to it, because with social media there is little or limited control of people that come out to say things. If you have your phone, you have your data, anywhere in Nigeria, you can just stay in your room and say what you want to say, and you publish it out there for a lot of people to see,
to consume.
Exactly.
Despite the fact that it was all fabricated lies.
Exactly. Or in the recent eras where there are news stations,
newspapers, magazines,
which are controlled, and then they have a reputation mostly to protect. So they always post gendered
gender bias.
No. They always Oh my God.
Have a way of like protecting people or exposing people.
Exactly. They get their news, they publish accurate news, or like now that just anyone can publish anything.
Of course. Does the Nigerian Constitution guarantee freedom of expression without limitation, or there is limitation?
You see, that's where people get it wrong. I think Section 39 of the Constitution gives a person the right to like express himself as a citizen of Nigeria, but then people do not realize that right is subject to certain limitations. You cannot come out and just publish a hate speech about someone and then say you are just being expressive, because if while trying to like express yourself, you are defaming another person, or you are promoting fake news, misleading the public, to cause violence, to
Havoc.
cause exactly. So if you are doing that, the Constitution cannot protect you to that extent.
So you have to face the full bullet of the law.
Exactly, there are legal consequences.
Okay, so what are the legal penalties that can someone face for spreading fake news?
It could be
Is it imprisonment? Is it fine, or both?
It could be imprisonment. It could be fine. In civil cases, it could be retraction. It could also be public apology and all of that.
Okay, so can person be prosecuted simply for sharing and forwarding false information on social media?
Well, I would say that would be subject to the court, and it would be entirely depending on the case, the kind of defamation, the kind of fake news that person promotes.
You are a Gen Z barrister.
Yes.
So what responsibility do social media users have before sharing any kind of information?
I would urge all the social media users to like verify news. You don't just see something. There is this thing that if I am to stay and publish something for my audience, if people keep reposting that and promoting it, they are like giving it out to wider audience. So I would say before sharing any information, I would say you should like try to verify it, try to figure the authenticity of that information before you share it to the next person. Simply because you have access to your phone does not give you the right to like mislead people and say things out there.
We are in the era of social media, and we know how those influencers have a very strong voice. Is there any law that can hold them responsible for inciting people?
Well, not really. There isn't any law currently which I know of that would say that will limit an influencer from inciting people. But then that influencer has to be acting according to the law. What you are doing online has to be legal. You cannot just come online to be promoting drugs and then expect the law not to work on you.
Yeah.
So long you are doing what you are doing is legal, there isn't any law I know that would like limit you.
We spoke about the traditional media and the presence of social media. So what role should traditional media play in combating fake news? You might mention like before you post or even repost, make sure what you are doing, it came from a very authentic source.
Okay, so I would say I have noticed that the traditional medias are now moving into social media, which is a wonderful thing, by the way, because since they are the channels that can be trusted, I feel the traditional media merging into social media is a good thing.
So how can citizens verify information before sharing it, as you are also a social media user? Is it by seeing that blue tick?
No, I wouldn't say it's by seeing that blue tick. You have to like figure, first of all, what's the source of that your information?
Is it legit?
Is it legit, exactly? Or is it just something you randomly see? Who is posting? Who are you reposting from? What is the person's source? Why is the person putting that up? As a human being, if not anything, you should be able to tell, okay, this is somebody that has a good reputation and has been known for posting. There are channels online that, you know, okay, if this blog is posting this, it is definitely true.
Legitimate.
Exactly, because this blog is known for posting legitimate news, and also when they make the mistake of posting a
They
fake
apologize.
news, they apologize and, like, you know.
Well, Barrister, what advice would you like to give to young Nigerians who rely heavily on social media for virtually everything? Because I came across one of a distant friend. He was just asking me about one social media app. I just confessed to her that I don't know. She was just amazed and she was shocked. So what advice will you give them?
Well, I would say as much as social media is a good space, as much as there are a lot of positive things on social media, I would say that too much of everything is bad.
Too much of everything
Depending
is bad.
100% on social media is not something I would recommend for anyone. And if there is anyone out there that does that, I recommend that person limits their social media interactions.
Outside her workshop to take a quick call. Traffic streams pass along a busy road in Nairobi's Karen area, but her attention is somewhere else. As founder of Savannah Space, she consistently juggles conversations and clients, designers and artisans while building a business rooted in one conviction: African craftsmanship deserves a global stage. Inside the workshop, rows of hand-woven rugs hang from wooden beams as weavers carefully knot wool into intricate geometric patterns. Kihato pauses to inspect one of the pieces before measuring another alongside a weaver, checking every detail before it reaches a customer. For Kihato, the growing appreciation of African design represents a rare opportunity.
I think we're at the age of the African Renaissance. I really do. There's never been a time before where positively eyes have been on Africa, and not just in the sense where negative connotations are put on us, where it's a country or a continent of poverty, it's a continent of corruption. Now more than ever, we're actually seen in a positive light. And I think as Africans, we need to take note of that, and we need to take advantage of that.
Kihato never imagined she would build a furniture and interiors brand. She had planned a career in development before, during a moment of reflection, and felt called in a different direction.
I thought I was going to be in the development space. I thought I was going to do something else, but it just so happened that one day I was journaling, and I believe that God just told me, you're going to start a furniture brand made in Kenya, and you're going to employ Kenyans.
Today, Savannah Space works with local artisans to create handcrafted furniture and a woven home decor inspired by East African traditions. The work is physically demanding. Large rugs must be unfolded, moved, and carefully arranged before they are displayed. Myself and the team have got into so much muscle. The business itself began with an act of trust. I met up with one lady who had her weaving workshop, and I said, look, I'm having an event. If you allow me to take your carpet, I will sell them and then bring you the money. And surprisingly, she agreed. And this was the first time I ever met her, but surprisingly, she agreed.
I met up with one lady who had her weaving workshop. And I said, look, I'm having an event. If you allow me to take your carpets, I will sell them and then bring you the money. And surprisingly, she agreed. And this was the first day I ever met her, but surprisingly, she agreed.
She told me about the plan. And when we discussed the business, I saw it was a good business and told her to come. So Cherry came and we went and we sat down. It has been many years, almost 10 good years since we started working together. She came and we talked about the job. I showed her how we could do it, and up to now, we're still working together. And she is a good person. I just love her because she is very trustworthy.
She told me about the plan, and when we discussed business, so Cherry came and we sat down. It has been many years, almost 10 good years since we started working together. She came and we talked about the job, and I showed her how we will do it. And up to now, we are still working with her. And she is a good person. I just love her because she's a very trustworthy person.
The partnership comes at a time when Kenyan-made crafts are finding renewed appreciation in modern homes. Architect and interior designer Mercy Kanze Bira says more clients are asking for locally made wooden pieces as they seek interiors that reflect African identity.
Most of the clients are starting to ask us about these things. We need to reintroduce them back into their roles. And so crafts, people are opting to do those things. Weaving, people are opting to bring them back. You will go to Kobe's and people are hanging basket mats and homes.
The renewed demand is creating opportunities for artisans like Ruth Nyakio, who has spent more than 2 decades weaving by hand.
I started when I was young, and my children were also very young. They went to school through this work, they finished their studies, and it has helped me at home and it has supported me in many aspects. Yeah.
Finished rugs are displayed alongside handcrafted furniture in Savannah Space's showroom, where traditional weaving techniques meet contemporary African designs. For Kihato, the business is about more than selling furniture. It is about preserving a centuries-old tradition that she fears could disappear.
The art of weaving is a dying art form, and it's unfortunate to say that, but it is a dying art form. There's not as many people who want to get into it, and so part of the joys and part of the benefit is preserving this tradition that's been in East Africa for hundreds of years. I think that's a big win in terms of the work that we do, because if we as Kenyans and we as Africans don't preserve this, then nobody else actually will.
As she captures videos of the workshop and its latest creation, Kihato hopes that showcasing African craftsmanship to new audiences will help secure the future of the artisans behind every woven piece and ensuring that a tradition passed down through generations continues to thrive in a changing world.
Across Nigeria today, security agencies are intensifying efforts to combat violent crime from the battlefields of Zamfara to community, policing initiatives in Lagos and rescue operations in Ogun State. Here are the latest security developments. First up, the Nigerian military has intensified its offensive against banditry in the northwest, with troops of the Joint Task Force Operation Fansanyama engaging fighters loyal to notorious bandit leader Ado Aleru in a fierce gun battle in Safe, local government area of Zamfara State. Security sources say the operation began after troops made contact with the armed group during a clearance mission targeting known bandit hideouts. The exchange of gunfire was described as intense, with ground troops supported by civilians' assets as the operation continued. Other reports indicate that several bandits were neutralized, although the military has yet to release an official casualty figure. Ado Alero's network has long been linked to kidnappings, attacks on rural communities, and cattle rustling across Zamfara, Katsina, and neighboring states. The military says operations are ongoing with more updates expected as efforts continue to dismantle criminal networks across the northwest. Next up, the Lagos state government is calling for stronger cooperation between young people and the Nigerian police force to improve security and strengthen public trust. Speaking at a youth police engagement program in Epe, government officials and police representatives stressed that effective policing depends on collaboration between security agencies and the communities they serve. Young people were encouraged to report suspicious activities through the See Something, Say Something initiative, while police officers were urged to build public confidence by treating residents with fairness and professionalism. Stakeholders say mutual respect and open communication remain essential to creating safer communities across the states. And finally, the Ogun State Police Command has launched a manhunt for gunmen who abducted students of Gateway ICT Polytechnic during an attack on a private off-campus hostel in the Ipada area of the state. Police says tactical teams have been deployed to rescue the victims and track down those responsible, while authorities are yet to confirm the exact number of students abducted. The institution's Gulf Students Union says 5 students were taken during the late-night attack. The command has appealed to residents to remain calm and provide useful information that could assist ongoing rescue efforts, assuring the public that every available resource is being deployed to secure the students' safe return. Those are the latest security updates. As security operations continue across the country, authorities are urging citizens to stay vigilant, cooperate with law enforcement, and report suspicious activities to help keep some communities safe. Do remember that security is a shared responsibility.
Welcome to Tech Update, where we bring you the biggest technology stories shaping the digital world today. I am Gladys Asoko. We begin here in Nigeria, where large companies with an annual turnover of 5 billion naira or more must now begin transmitting electronic invoices through the Nigeria Revenue Service electronic fiscal system. The move is aimed at improving tax collection, increasing transparency, and making business transactions easier to monitor. Now from Nigeria, we move to the global tech scene. Google has introduced ER2, a new robot brain designed to help robots think and work more intelligently. The model allows robots to understand their surroundings, plan tasks, and even work together as a team in real time. Google says the technology can improve the use of robots in factories, hospitals, warehouses, and homes. And finally, new European Union rules have officially taken effect, giving consumers a stronger right to repair electronic devices. The rules apply to products like smartphones, tablets, and household appliances. Manufacturers will now be expected to make repairs easier by providing spare parts and repair services, helping consumers use their devices for long. And that's all for today's tech update. For more stories shaping the future of technology, do stay connected to S24 Television. Thanks for watching and do have a lovely day. Music, movies, and celebrity headlines are keeping the entertainment world busy today. Daddy Shoki is celebrating a remarkable milestone. Tyler is facing backlash over her tour update, and Netflix is facing questions in court. Welcome to your entertainment update. First up, veteran Nigerian singer Daddy Shoki is getting ready to celebrate a major milestone in his career. The music icon will mark 50 years in the entertainment industry with a special concert in Lagos on August 9th. The event will celebrate his incredible journey in music and his lasting contribution to the Nigerian entertainment industry. Daddy Shoki rose to fame in the 1990s as one of the pioneers of the Galala sound. Over the years, he has remained a respected figure in the industry, inspiring many younger artists. Fans, fellow musicians, and other entertainment personalities are expected to attend the celebration. Still on music, South African singer Tyler is facing fresh backlash after Lagos was removed from the list of cities on her upcoming tour. The update comes as many Nigerians continue to criticize the singer for remaining silent on the recent xenophobic attacks against Nigerians in South Africa. While some fans believe artists should not be held responsible for political issues, others say Tyler should have used her platform to speak against the attacks. Neither Tyler nor her management has explained why Lagos was removed from the tour schedule. The move has sparked even more reactions online, with many fans calling for answers and hoping the singer will address the growing criticism. And in Hollywood, Netflix is facing a $105 million lawsuit over an unreleased Nicolas Cage movie that was leaked online. The producers claim a hard drive containing the movie was stolen from Netflix's office before its official release, reducing the film's value and affecting the chances of a successful release. Netflix has denied responsibility, saying the filmmakers did not follow the required security procedures when delivering the film. The company also says it's working with investigators to track down the leaked copies and prevent further distribution. And that's your entertainment update for today. I'm Karimet Hassan. Thanks for watching.
From the boardrooms of world football to the biggest sporting stages, important decisions and unforgettable moments continue to shape the world of sports. FIFA faces fresh questions over its investment plans. Nigerian athletes continue to make history in Glasgow. And while the Super Falcons prepare for a crucial WAFCON fixture, the Flying Eagles continue their strong campaign on the African stage. Welcome to Sports Update on S24 Rundown. I am Udokan Godspower. We begin with a major development in world football, where FIFA says it will continue consultation over its proposed investor plan despite opposition from UEFA. The European football governing body has threatened to boycott future FIFA competitions if the plan to create a commercial subsidiary for major events, including the World Cup, goes ahead. The proposal would allow private investors to acquire a minority stake in the new venture, with FIFA insisting the move is aimed at generating more funds for football development globally. Responding to the criticism, FIFA said all member associations must have the opportunity to consider the proposal, adding that nobody is selling football. The governing body says discussions with stakeholders will continue before any final decision is reached. Meanwhile, Team Nigeria continued its impressive medal run at the 2026 Commonwealth Games in Glasgow, with Chukwuebuka Enekwechi making history in the men's shot put. Enekwechi becomes the first Nigerian athlete to win Commonwealth gold in the event after producing a winning throw of 21.07 meters. Nigeria also added another medal through Toby Amusun, who claimed bronze in the women's 100 meters hurdles after finishing the final in 12.60 seconds. The performances continue Nigeria's strong campaign at the Games as the Games progress in Glasgow. And away from athletics, the Super Falcons are looking to respond after a disappointing start to their Women's African Cup of Nations title defense. Goalkeeper Chiamaka Nnadozie has backed Nigeria to bounce back following their shock 3-2 defeat to Malawi in their opening Group C match. The defending champions suffered a setback after goals from sisters Temwa and Tabitha Chawinga secured a historic win for the Scorchers. The Super Falcons will now face Zambia as they aim to revive their campaign and keep their hopes of a record-extending 11th WAFCON title alive. And finally, Nigeria's Flying Eagles have booked their place in the semi-finals of the WAFU-B Under-20 Championship after defeating Togo 3-0. Moise Adeleke scored twice, taking his tally to 4 goals in 2 matches, while Abdullahi Agbejoye added a late third to seal qualification. The result means Nigeria have scored 7 goals in 2 matches and reaches the last 4 with a game to spare. And that's your sports update for today. From football debates at the highest level to historic moments in Glasgow and important victories across Africa, the world of sport continues to provide stories worth following. I am Udokan Godspower. Do hold your horses as Sidikat brings PG News your way. After my person, what do you get for us today now?
My brother, Tori plenty, but we know if we carry everything. Maybe see what we carry today.
Oh yeah, make you know.
On a welcome my country people. Today Tori na bomba to bomba. Make we the enter am 1-1. First one be say President Bola Ahmed Tinubu don't talk say federal government no pay any ransom to the kidnappers wey carry school pikin and teachers for Orire or your state. According to him, the kidnappers ask government make them pay money and make them free some of their members wey security agencies don't arrest. But government, they no agree. Instead, soldiers can use correct information and careful planning take rescue all the victims after they spend 56 days for kidnappers' hand. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu say na because of this success, na him decide to increase Nigeria Army divisions from 8 go reach 12, so that soldiers go fit respond to security problems fast. Instead, say government go strengthen forest guards and im go support state police, but with rules wey go stop anybody from abusing the power. He also begged Nigerians make they give security agencies useful information anytime when they see anything suspicious. Say he no get hand for inside say to they give kidnappers money to take rescue people. And for inside northern part of Nigeria, northern senators don't condemn the recent killings wey been happen for Benue and Kaduna states. Then describe the attack as very painful and they consent condolences to the families and communities wey lose their loved ones. The chairman of Northern Senators Forum, wey be Senator Abdulaziz Musa Eradua, said they support federal government plan to increase army divisions from 8 go reach 12 and made they recruit 28,000 more soldiers. According to the lawmakers, this move will help security agencies fight criminals better and they will respond fast to attack. They also ask government to provide enough money, better welfare for soldiers, and may they improve intelligence gathering. They can call on Nigeria people say may they always give security agencies useful information and may they demand make authorities arrest and punish everybody who take part for this killing. They can also ask government to help victims and people who run from their homes because of this attack. And for federal government side, they don't destroy 2,819 illegal guns for Abuja. This one don't bring the total number of illegal guns where government don't destroy across Nigeria to reach 19,000. Director General of National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons, Johnson Kokumo, say government destroy the guns so that criminals no go fit use them again. Government can't warn people where they sell or move illegal guns. Say security agencies will continue to find them and they will continue to destroy every illegal weapon. Government say this action will help the fight against terrorism, banditry, and other violent crimes. NNPC don't show us say no be by long leg people take they get work for their side. Nigeria National Petroleum Company Limited will be NNPC don't employ more than 1,000 young professionals after they complete 1 year internship, training, and assessment. Group Chief Executive Officer will be Bayo or Julari say they employ the workers because of their performance, not be because of who them know or what them get. Incon they encourage new workers, make them work hard, bring new ideas, and may they continue to improve themselves. NNPC say the recruitment now part of efforts to build strong workforce as the company continue to operate as a commercial energy company. And for matter wey concern Oyibo people, United States Africa Command will be AFRICOM don't raise alarm say illegal drug smuggling across Africa it don't increase more than 6 times within the last 2 years. For one security meeting wey happen for Ethiopia, AFRICOM Logistics Director Brigadier General Paul say African countries need to work together well, may they for share information and may they improve their security operations. He also say modern technology like artificial intelligence and drones will help security agencies fight drug smuggling, human trafficking, and other security threats. And inside Pakistan, at least 34 miners don't die on top gas will explode for Pakistan. The explosion happened on Thursday, can trap many workers underground. Rescue workers work throughout the night to bring out the dead body while they see the search for anybody who is still there trapped. Authorities say too much gas inside the mine now caused the explosion. They never confirmed the exact number of workers who they inside the mine when the incident being happened. My brothers, my sisters, so you know they finish, but time no they wait. Make we pause for here today. All of una where they hear us from Monday reach today. Now God bless una. Till we meet again. My name na Sidika Yusuf. Thank you, Sidikat, for the pidgin version of the news. And this brings us to the end of S24 Rundown. Do join us next time and remember to follow us on all our social media platforms at S24 Television for more updates and breaking stories. I am Gloria Atta. Have a wonderful weekend and bye for now.